Hey everybody, so I'm here at Conscious Life Expo 2011. I'm going to bring you as much as I can. I'm going to get as many speakers as I can, and I hope you guys enjoy everything. It's going to be an all over the board informative, I guess you could say lecture type presentation or just guerrilla style filming. I'm going to do what I can. There's a lot of places that are noisy, so anywhere I can find quiet, I'll get nice little interviews for you guys and I'll bring as much as I can. So hi guys, it's Jacob of course with My Momentum Media, and I'm here with Nick Redford. Anyways, I'm going to let him introduce himself and what he's going to be going on about today at the Conscious Life Expo. Anyways, take it away, Nick.
Alright, thanks Jacob. Well, basically I'm going to be speaking about the Men in Black history. Now, I'm sure a lot of people's, their first perceptions about the Men in Black has sort of come from the Men in Black movies, with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. And a lot of people think it's a Hollywood creation, not realising that the movie itself was based on a comic book series of the same name, which was inspired by real life reports of encounters with guys in black suits kind of acting weird and strange and ominous and silencing and threatening people who've had UFO encounters. So what I did a few years ago was to sort of really dig into this mystery and just recently wrote a book on it called The Real Men in Black. That's the most recent book.
Okay.
And it basically goes back to the early years of Men in Black sightings in the 40s through to the present day, demonstrating that the Men in Black do exist and somebody is working to silence people, whether it's researchers or even abductees, contactees, about the UFO subject. So clearly, this by default demonstrates it's a real subject. These guys are going around silencing people.
Exactly, and so today, especially coming here at the Conscious Life Expo and everything, do you think the whole subject and the interest is broadening about all this? Is it becoming more understandable for people?
Yeah, and I think it's becoming more popular as well. I think the media seems to be taking the subject more seriously. It's definitely getting more exposure. And I think events like this, where you've actually got, dozens and dozens of speakers, in many respects it's better than just your average conference where there's just one after another in one room.
Exactly.
You can come and go. You can go see a workshop, you can see a lecture, you go to a question and answer session, and everybody's on totally different subjects. It's not like you're going to get bogged down just on Roswell or whatever, or just on abduction. There's such a broad and wide range that's why I think it's a good conference.
And just for everybody out there, where can they go find your information on the web and all that?
Nick Redfern's books.blogspot.com.
Beautiful. And could you just spell it out so we have it?
Yeah. It's NickRedfernsBlogspot.com.
Nick, one more thing. As you're here, what's something out there for people that are just starting out on these subjects, like whether it's ufology or Men in Black or any other sort of conspiracy theories? What do you think is, how should they have their mindset set? Should they be very open-minded? Should they read everything very carefully? Or, what should...
Well, I always tell people, if you've got an interest, then follow the published work, follow the websites, but, sort of be aware as well that, sort of carefully filter everything, double check it, find additional references and sources for something. And there's a lot of very good material out there, and people think, well, where do I find it? It's surprising, you just type in UFO, and you go to so many different places. And I would always say to people, if you've got an interest, do it. But at the same time, just sort of use carefully filtering.
Exactly.
So you've got backup sources, and if somebody says something that sounds controversial, Google that and see if somebody else is saying the same thing. If they are, then that's a good indication, that there's a genuine thing to look at.
Yeah. And if I could just get one more thing out of you, what got you started on this?
Well, I've never actually had a UFO experience. My dad was in the British Royal Air Force and worked on radar, and he was involved in several UFO incidents where UFOs were tracked on the radar screens, and everybody in position for the military was told not to talk about it. And my dad didn't tell me until I was like 13 or 14, and that's sort of what really got me interested and on the trail of looking into the government side of things of UFOs.
I'm here with Laura Eisenhower, great-granddaughter of President Eisenhower. Anyways, rather than me explain what she is doing right now in this whole field of, you could say, what can we say? What's the field you're in right now? Conspiracy theory, ufology, right? Like UFO.
All of that, yeah. And I'm very much an experiencer. I was recruited to go to a Mars colony in 2006, and I spent a whole life researching all sorts of information while going through all sorts of incredible experiences connecting to mythology, Gaia as Gaia Sophia, and a lot of the research that's very similar to somebody named John Lash, if anybody knows him. So I've been uncovering a lot of the things in the shadow government, the type of energies that they've targeted, and the sorts of things that we can start to adopt in our lives that have been missing links that we can bring back to our awareness in order to restore our DNA and to assist in our ascension process.
And is this what you're going to go into on your little lecture you're going to be giving for your presentation?
I kind of go into the agreements between the extraterrestrials and the government, and the origins of the Illuminati, and the creation myths that connect to the Sophia energy that has been exiled, and history's been rewritten and kept us very unfamiliar with this aspect of creation.
And if I could get just one more thing from you, if people want more information about you and everything you're studying, do you have a website or?
Cosmic Gaia, COSMIC, Gaia, GAIA, 2012.com. Most of all my information is there, the lectures I'll be doing, the shows that I've done, and it goes into natural stargates and just really where we're at in shift time.
I'm Jordan Maxwell, and I'm here at the Conscious Life Expo in Los Angeles with my dear friend who owns the Conscious Life Expo, and we've captured him for about 2 minutes. I just want to introduce Robert Quicksilver to the world, because I believe that his work is very important, and that the Conscious Life Expo seems to be the event happening in America for spiritual, metaphysical, UFO, and all of the other interesting subjects that most people are not dealing with.
Expo is really great. It's an alternative, all kinds of alternative thought, and
researchers, you've
and
got
researchers
plenty
and
of
ideas,
researchers.
and it's not like we're like fighting anything. It's just creating a new platform, a new playing field where all these we're healing and metaphysics and alternative physics, modern science all comes together in a kind of transformed worldview.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing here. We're manifesting a transformed worldview could lead us into the future.
And the events, I want to add, the events are enormous. They are huge here at the
Such a big interest
at the what is it? The Hilton Hotel, Airport Hilton in Los Angeles. The enormous hotel, and usually totally crowded when he's doing these events, because people from all over the world come to these events.
That's true.
And I feel that the events and the person is so important. I just wanted to let the world know that I'm very happy to not only be his friend, but to be able to promote sensational, incredible conventions twice a year in Los Angeles, the Conscious Life Expo.
I think that it's as the world is transforming, the language that we use and the baselines here become not common, but more mainstream. And when you think about health and healing, it used to be kind of abstract, but now everyone is like looking to have a healthy diet.
Yeah.
So all the metaphysics and all this stuff, alternative science, is becoming not mainstream so much, but is showing up in the world in a new way, in a larger global scale.
And I think that's because Conscious Life makes such an incredible impact in Los Angeles.
Well, a small part of it, anyway.
This is the entertainment capital of the world, and the main event in Los Angeles is the Conscious Life Expo. They're big, and has lots of movie stars and a lot of important people here, all from all over the world, speakers, lecturers, teachers, all kinds of great people, and that's why I'm delighted to be able to have as a dear friend, but also be a part of this conference on occasions. I've even spoke here myself.
Often.
And so we might be doing it again. So, it's the kind of thing that if you're in the movement of what is loosely called the New Age movement or metaphysical, you're going to meet everybody. And over a period of time, everybody knows everybody and all the speakers.
It's a small little world.
Yeah, and it's growing, but it was small many years ago. And so when we met, We became friends instantly, and I really appreciated all the hard work that goes into doing major, big events.
I have to say this about Jordan, that there's a lot of young people involved, but Jordan's been doing this work forever. So he's like one of the grandfathers, and you know, not he's old, I'm not saying that part of it, but he's one of the founders of the whole alternative science movement with his skill and his knowledge of things. And so, you know, over the years, we have looked to him, this whole larger community looks at Jordan as a kind of a pathfinder for the whole community in some way. He's an elder of the, not that you're old, I'm not really trying to say that, but that's your reputation in the world. I mean, there's young little Giorgio startups, you know, and then there's Jordan, you know. So
I appreciate that, and thank you for it.
www.consciouslifeexpo.com. Conscious is spelled C-O-N-S-C-I-O-U-S. It's an easy one to miss. Lifeexpo.com. Everything is online, 100% easy access to the online information.
And the next one's going to be in
February 10, 11, 12, 5 months from now.
Beautiful.
So make sure you're there.
And it's 2012, so we have the entire February event is going to really be focusing, bearing down on the 2012 and the galactic and alignment. And I think Jordan's going to speak about that.
So make sure you're here. Conscious Life Expo, Los Angeles.